Hey guys, I'm sitting here just thinking about this whole process right now, and I wanted to, again, thank you for following up on the second video in the series. And the other day I spoke about the process of the New Year's getting ready to come up, and I mentioned my advanced fat loss strategy. And the strategy is something that I, again, have been working on for the last 20 years, and it's been very successful in the results that I've been able to step-by-step create each and every time. I've, taken people from being 100 pounds overweight down to something that's ridiculous. And of course, you've seen the bikini girls that we work with and everybody else in between. This type of diet and this strategy works really well for athletes in all sports, all activities, and it gives you a really good sense of control over what's getting ready to happen with your clients and customers. I think, again, that it is the number one strategy to position yourself as the expert. Again, most of the time in my experience, people talk about quality of life and they talk about all of these things, and it may be about blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, and so on and so forth, or working around injuries, but at the end of the day, a lot of people really, really want to look their best. If you followed my journey as Joe the trainer, and you've had a chance to see some of the things that I've taken as far as steps in my career over the last 22 years, you've seen that I've had, the typical pattern. I've been in the big box gyms and started, after my military experience, 10 years, and, going through that process, it really helped me learn a lot about the development of not only a successful way to do all of the elements and components of a fitness program, but it was that fat loss. My experience in the bodybuilding world for a decade, and then as an NPC judge, really helped qualify me as someone that could really look at a person's body, and then through the careful steps and the analysis of things that we put in place that I talked about in video one, it really helped me hone my experience. So if you didn't see video one, click the link below. We'll let you see that video, or over here to the side. But today what I really wanted to do is follow up with another video that would help explain, now that we've got these people interested in our process, now we need to educate them a little bit about what that process is going to be. And one of the things that I use are webinars to help explain all of the elements in this particular diet strategy, or this advanced fat loss regimen that we're going to have them go through. And then through a series of before and afters. Now, I'm sure each of you has a series of before and afters of various stages and things that you've done. So these are really good tools. Obviously, we all know that by now, but you need to really extend your reach. So right now, the use of the webinar has become a really solid tool. I have a delivery system that I use, which I'll show you in this video. I also have a templated system, a graphics person that helps me put some things together, so it really looks a lot more professional. You will position yourself as the expert that you believe yourself to be, and that you want them to believe that you are, by how you package and present your material. You can't just throw some stuff out there. Yes, you can, but sometimes it doesn't really give you the kind of caliber client that you're looking to have in your schedule. I know a lot of people's ideas may be to take anything with a pulse. I'm not feeling like that. I'm feeling I'm a little bit better than that. It's not to be conceited or any of that other business, but I want to represent myself well, and the customers and clients that I have and that come into our schedule are the uppermost of what is available as far as customers. The other ones, they can go to the big box gym. I'm through that, and I want to help you move from that environment, if that's where you are, and or in a studio, to that next level. So let's take a look at this webinar. I'll show you some of the things that I do in my webinars. As we start going into the new year, we're going to have the advanced fat loss strategies, the 12-week program, the 6-week program, and then a 19-day program. And we're going to launch some of this stuff from Facebook on a fan page with an introductory video to help them understand, and of course use some of the imagery that we use as far as testimonials, but also our bikini models. Take a look.
Okay, now what I wanted to do to follow up with
The idea of creating a video for your webinar, using it as a tool to demonstrate your effectiveness as a fat loss coach, you have the best fitness facility in town, so on and so forth. But you've got to try to figure out a way to really help with your marketing process. Now, I cited a few things earlier when I mentioned that you can definitely use this as a great tool to get your name out there, but using video, and particularly YouTube with your video, and then using some other strategies and techniques to get your video, all over YouTube, if it's something that you want to make more viral, or you can also use it once it's been rendered and coded properly. You can place it on Facebook. When you create your video, there's a couple of things that you can do to make it look better than just a black copy on a white piece of paper. And this to me looks kind of boring. I don't know about you, but you just throw out a typical presentation and it looks kind of like this. So let me show you a couple of things that you could even do to make something like this a little bit better, and then we'll go to the next level. So now what we can do is take your presentation and actually beef it up a little bit with just some simple animation techniques and move it from the typical presentation people typically spend with the time that they have or effort to put into it, and this really doesn't reflect a whole lot of how much you're going to really care about them and their fitness program. Basically, they haven't had any good ideas and they haven't really had any good samples to model from until right about now. And they haven't associated the goal actually with the presentation of the level of professionalism it reflects about them or their business. And there's just too much to do. I don't have time to do them. How can I do it? It's impossible, and all the other stories we tell ourselves. You got to stand out from the crowd. You got to create something that makes you unique. Again, marketing and promotion of your business so that you can create the sales, get the people in the studio or gym or boot camp, and then get them to rip off as much of that fat off their body so that they're just a screaming, raving lunatic about how good you are at what you do. I didn't say how nice you were, and I didn't say how animated and cute you were. I said bottom line results. What does this matter and what difference does it make? Cash flow, plain and simple. You have to be really good at what you do, and you have to really demonstrate that you can get the results that you need time and time again. So for the presentation that I showed you a sample of, that gives you an idea of the different age groups and then a 22-year run of success stories. So you really, really want to get good at collecting those testimonials so that you have pictures before and afters that really demonstrate all sizes, shapes, ages, big, little, small, white, green, purple, straight, gay, doesn't matter. This is the bottom line right here, and this is what's going to separate you from the trainer or studio or gym or boot camp down the street. Oh, next slide. Okay, so now what we want to do if we want to really beef up, not only do we want to experiment with the different processes here. Now, across the top here in your typical PowerPoint presentation from the home here, the insert where we can take pictures and so on and so forth. Again, I'm assuming, and I apologize, if some of you are more skilled at using these systems or not, but as a fitness professional, you got to do this. I remember the first time I saw someone do a presentation on this, and they brought it out, and I had it on a laptop myself, but I've seen it now on the iPad. And let me tell you, this right here is your presentation. When you're getting ready to sit down at a table and you're going to close clients and you have like the killer presentation, what if you put something together that just was smoking hot and you put this thing together and then put it on your iPad? Your customer or client said, yeah, you know what, let's meet over here at this coffee shop, and you just showed them a whole presentation that was already done like this. This screams professionalism to me personally. Okay, so now, one of the things that I did with one of my tech guys is I had to go and find out, what could I do after seeing someone else's presentation on the web somewhere. And I went and found a guy, and this guy made me, all kinds of different images. He created things that I could use for different elements of M2, and you've seen a lot of these things
from Mr. Fat Loss to the bikini stuff, you know, certain elements in here that definitely will spice up any kind of presentation. All my Fitness Pro video trainer stuff, just a whole host of different things. So once you've got all of that stuff set up and you have an idea of what the presentation is that you're going to put together, and you've created something in your mind, you can get certain types together. So what I did, you know, I put together a set for the Bikini Body Shop program that we have now, and you'll see some of these templates up here in a moment. General out the door cost about $50 for me to do something like that with my guy. Okay, so we made basically a front end piece here. Looks like a little video, put the little deal in there, and then the next slide was a baseline slide, and I added, you know, all of our copyright stuff here, and then that allowed me to just roll through the rest of my presentation as I developed each piece of it. So from the top of it, you can see it, and I'll run it through here. And so what I did afterwards is gone through each individual slide, and I added the elements that gave it the life. For example, over here, when you start to want to take a section on your slide and you want to add an effect, and here what we did is we went into the animation setup here. You hit the custom animation and you flip over here to the right side of the screen, and here is where you start to add all your animation effects. So right now I have one set up in this element, but you can test and go through all of these different slides to create the different effect that you want. The ones I've already chosen in here so that I can get through this presentation and show you what it looks like. Basically, you can test each individual slide by just hitting and playing, and it'll show you what that particular slide would look like once you've animated it. And it'll go through. You can control the speed of the presentation over here from fast or very fast to slow, medium, and you can make the entrance from the bottom to top, the right to left, left to right, so on and so forth. And then again, all the different effects will have this thing spinning and jumping all over the place. Now, you might not want to get really, really crazy with it, because that's going to just, you know, get people blinded by what you have, but you do want to have some consistency. So I tend to use maybe the similar you know, animations throughout the presentation, so it really pops in a way that makes sense to me. Now, this one, as you can see, I'll come in from maybe one or two different angles, but other than that, I'm not going to get too crazy with it. All right, now another element that I do with some of the videos that you've seen me put together, I have a lot of background noise sometimes running around through my little Long Beach area. And also, I'm a big techno person, you know, so I listen to and have been listening to music for a long time. So I always like to use music because it starts to add a little bit of stuff to it. Again, you know, I know some of you are going to be kind of crazy, but one of my resources, a place called Audio Jungle, and you can get music. Now, when you use music and you put music into some of your videos, the music, if it's got, as I've learned, this is from personal experience, there's copyright laws and things that are going to get you hammered on YouTube. So if you take a video and you create it and you put it up on YouTube, they may blank your video out depending upon the country that it's in, because some artists really get really jacked up with it. For example, like my uncle. I'll use some of my uncle's music, Al Jarreau, and I can put it in there. It's cool, but I'd have to go through a whole lot of stuff through, you know, all the record labels and so on and so forth to get stuff done like that. So, but if you do use some of that music, just try to keep some of the clips less than 30 seconds long. That'll limit your ability. On the other end, you can go and get some royalty-free music. Now, there's plenty of sites out there, but a lot of the music is just lame. It's just jacked up. It doesn't sound good, you know. So to me, I pop over here to Audio Jungle, and I'll flip through and I go right to like the electronica section or the trance or techno. I'm going to find some stuff that kind of pops for me, you know. So I'll sit here and I'll jam through some of this stuff and try to find something that may have a beat I can handle, and some of it, but it's gotta resonate for you. Now, a lot of people are gonna pick a lot of different things. Now, I know there's certain themes, and I've listened to some other people's stuff, and a lot of this, I'll give a shout out to my boy Andy Jenkins, because he really went through, when he created one of his products, he uses a whole section to describe, selecting music. It is important. It is, again, something that's going to show your professionalism. If you care to put this amount of effort into it, you don't need to do this with everything that you do, but if you've got some presentations that you really want to have pop, I think it would be good for you just to spend, an hour or so and pop through this. This is a really good resource, and as you can see, $30 or so. The most I've spent is about $40, but it'll give me a few pieces of music. It's a loop, like for example, this one, it'll come through, and you can see over here that the length of the loop is about 20 minutes. Most presentations that you're going to do are going to be relatively short. You want 16-bit stereo, 44 megahertz, which most of these are, so when they blend into a video, you're going to have a really nice smooth transition, and you can move it around depending upon what it is you're doing with a video and add that music track. So that's just a real quick brief shout out and to Andy Jenkins, but also just a source that I use. Now I'll provide several resources here down the road, give you some ideas about places you can go, just save you a lot of time. All right, as we know, time is money. Okay, so let's go on to the next section here, and I'll show you how, after you've selected the music you want, where you go get it on your desktop. Okay, so now once you're back in your Camtasia, and let's say you're looking for, you have your presentation and you're going to put something together. Let's throw a picture of this guy in here. Woo woo, hey, look at that guy. Long time ago. Okay, but no, let's take that out of there. That's crazy. Okay, so we'll find something in our music selection, and some of it already set up. I can kind of figure out. I have some here. I'll just play it. Okay, so this one you've heard before. I'll just flip this in here, and then I'll get maybe one of the presentations that I have already set up, and just show you real quickly how something like that layers in. And okay, so now you've prepared, some kind of video, something that you have, and you can select it. Now again, I'm assuming some of you have baseline experience, but if not, I have something coming up here soon that'll help you understand a little bit more about Camtasia. Some of you may use ScreenFlow on Mac. I'm still a PC person, but I promise that I'll get the other one too. All right, so you jam your video into Camtasia that's already been set up, and you select your dimensions. Now, typically when you go over to YouTube, they're all going to be monster size like this. I've already preset this and did it when I went through and did my final editing. And it's obviously, you can see in the screen there, it's much smaller, but I'll go back to its most recent without wasting any more of our time here. Okay, and then you can just go through your normal process, and you can hear that this one's already been edited, and this is the final production of what we did when we were on the front end of this video, just to kind of show you how I did it. Now, I didn't do the full animation on this one because I was really wanting to show you relatively quickly how that whole process went. And let's just say that I wanted to take this particular audio though and just rip it right from there. I could, if I decided to, create a second audio track and then take my music and just layer it in there, and then take this music and vocals and just drop them down, and then have this play just right over the top. And I got to tell you, I think that this Camtasia thing and just being able to do this is pretty pimp. I I am that guy. I would love like hell to outsource everything, but it's crazy. I'm kind of geeky, really. I might be looking like a pimp, somebody said long ago on one of our meetings out there, but I get geeky, and I love to learn how to use this stuff myself, because bottom line is I couldn't, when I came up as a fitness professional, I didn't have money to throw away. So I had to learn this stuff. You need to learn this stuff, people. You got to learn it so that when it's time for you to, or you can outsource it, right? But try to learn this stuff. And like I said, I have something coming up here, and I will definitely help you understand how to use this. But at the bottom, you want to be able to learn how to use PowerPoint. You want to be able to integrate these slides, and you want to be able to, create presentations that are going to allow you to, separate yourself from the rest of the people out there. You put these presentations together, and it's set up with mainly all the things that you want to tell people about what it is you can do for them. I don't put a whole lot of stuff anymore about, who I am and what I did. I mean, I do some of that stuff for you guys because, you need to kind of know about my own hero journey. But when it comes to you working with your clients, they really, really don't care too much about you, unfortunately. They want to know what the hell you can do for them. So as fast as you can put something together and present it, it's really going to be helpful. I'll show you something else here that I put together that I use on the front end of my presentations, where I actually use another system called Glyphy, and I did the same thing and then recorded it with Camtasia Screen Recorder and actually made that so that I can add that to my presentation. So you could typically show a lot of the things that you do in these presentations, mainly. Let me just flip through this real quick. If you have a series of before and afters that you can use, and they're visually stunning pictures, where you've got someone that was just like, 198, almost 200 pounds, and she goes down and turns into a 121-pound goddess. That's crazy. And then you can show that stuff to people, and it'll just motivate them. And then some of the big girls, when they come down, they really want to see someone else that's gone through that process. Not everybody looks like a bikini model. So we show them how to put this together with this video presentation, maybe on an iPad, and it's just ridiculous. Okay, so let's move on to the next section real quick.
Hey everyone, how was that? Okay, in this presentation, we just went through the process of showing you how to take the information from the first launch video and then create a not only PowerPoint presentation, but a video from that presentation, integrating music, also using that PowerPoint presentation and video, so now you can position it as a tool to help your business as far as maybe integrating some of the promotions that you have for the new year coming up. You can also take these videos and start to run them through YouTube so that that can drive traffic back to your fan page. Now, we went through the process of doing this from the basic level with the PowerPoint presentation, then we added animation, then we added the ability to use that animation on a templated system with custom designed templates that you could do yourself and or hire a designer to do. And then I showed you how to go out and find the resource of music and then integrate that. Again, each of these steps may not seem on the outside as the most important thing, but when you integrate this level of design within your presentation, it really screams a lot for your professionalism. It makes your business look a lot more professional. And if you show customers that you're going to put this kind of energy into some of the things that you're putting out there, whether it be your documentation, whether it be your appearance professionally, it's going to let them know that at least they've made a good choice. And again, if you think about going to the Four Seasons, you drive a Mercedes or a BMW versus another type of car or an Audi, for example. I know some of you have those. The status that that presents for you makes you feel good, and of course, this in turn helps position you just like that in your business. In the next launch video, we're going to go through the process of showing you how to now take the advanced fat loss concepts and these presentation techniques with a PowerPoint and or video, and then now how to integrate these into your Facebook fan page and PayPal links so that you can get payments directly through fan pages after you've learned how to set them up. We'll also show you how to take these videos and rank them much, much higher on YouTube with a special secret strategy that I've just recently learned. So I'm going to incorporate that in here as kind of a bonus idea so that you can use this to help position your videos with your business a little bit higher on the regular Google search. So stand by. My name is Emil Giroux. This is Fitness Pro Video Trainer. You've just seen video 2, review video 1, review video 2. Now let's go on to video 3. Okay? Thanks.